Hey y'all, my name is Angelica Rubio, State Representative for District 35, representing the City of Las Cruces, and this is a brief update. So just so that you all know, tomorrow is going to be a very strange one. Today is Tuesday night, September 30th, but tomorrow is October 1st, and the federal government is shutting down as we speak. But at the same time, we are starting a special session here in New Mexico. And while it might sound like two separate things, both are very much tied together. So here's what's happening. Here in Washington, D.C., Republicans this past summer passed a budget that cuts food stamps, kicks people off of Medicaid, and makes healthcare more expensive. I don't think I have to tell you why they did it, but just to be very explicit about it and transparent, it's essentially to keep billionaires and their donors happy. That's the ultimate trade. Regular people, per usual, are having to pay so that wealthy people don't have to pay anything. And I just want to remind you all of this because this isn't just some like distant threat that we're dealing with at the moment. A lot of these cuts are already happening here in New Mexico. And SNAP, for example, is one of the ones that is shrinking right now at this exact moment, especially as grocery prices increase. They're at the highest that they've been for a lot of people, most for folks that they've never actually even seen. If you've been in the checkout line lately, like a lot of us, you know what I mean. You have like eggs and milk and tortillas. Everything costs more right now. And so losing SNAP and these food stamps and this food assistance, it also means that kids are going to bed hungry, parents are skipping meals, and seniors especially are choosing between eating dinner or paying the cost of their medicine. Healthcare is under some of the same situation right now. As if you have health insurance, the reason that it's so it's expensive, but it's affordable right now for folks because there were these tax credits that existed, but those are about to expire, which is they're going to be going away. And so by January, a lot of the families can see their premiums skyrocket significantly. So for example, if you have a family who was paying $200 a month for coverage, suddenly they're going to see their insurance going up to $1,200 a month. That's rent money. That's groceries. That's an impossible expense. I've mentioned to you all, I grew up in rural New Mexico, just north of Artesia, and rural hospitals are very, very important to our communities across the state. Rural hospitals, they don't get to wait around. They don't have the luxury of waiting around until 2026 when the Medicaid cuts officially take effect, and they're already struggling. So for example, if one of these hospitals close, it's not just a headline that you're seeing. It's someone having like a heart attack in Tucumcari and realizing that the nearest ER is 2 hours away. It's like it's a mother in Grants, for example, wondering where she'll deliver her baby because once a rural hospital closes, they almost never reopen. And that's why this special session matters. We can't obviously fix what's happening in Washington because, I'm going to be honest, it's a shit show. But what we can do here in New Mexico is, and a lot of states are doing it already, is that we can step in here at home. So some of the things that we're going to be doing over the course of the next couple of days is we're going to be supporting food banks, for example. Food banks are really important to a lot of rural communities, especially here in places like Las Cruces, so that families don't go hungry when the federal benefits dry up. We're going to be supporting measures so that seniors keep that extra SNAP. For folks, there's a lot of seniors throughout the state who have to use food stamps to cover some of their groceries. This is something that we're going to help also fill those gaps. One thing too, and I've noticed here at New Mexico State University, is that there's also a lot of students, including a lot of like young people in our K through 12, where they essentially like go to like they don't have access to a lot of food. And so we're trying to stock up the school and university pantries because we know that students are also struggling. I've talked to kids who literally plan their week around what days the campus food pantry is open, and that's not cool, y'all. One thing that we noticed over the course of the last few weeks, and I got a lot of messages from you all here especially, was that there was a lot of confusion around the vaccine situation. A few weeks ago, there was the confusion with pharmacies pulling back. And so one of the pieces of legislation that we're going to be covering this over the course of the next couple of days is about keeping a lot of these, keeping the decision making around science-based stuff here in New Mexico. And so that's going to be an important thing. I want to say that I've received notices from what a particular senator out in southeastern New Mexico has been sharing, basically saying that we're going to force parents to vaccinate their children. That is not accurate at all. And so, y'all, I don't want you all to get distracted by the noise, because Republicans are already out there trying to twist this session into something that it's not, especially with vaccines. They're spreading fear. They're saying the state's about to sneak shots into kids, and that's not true. Parents still have the same rights they've always had. What's actually in the bill is very simple. It's we follow real doctors, not politicians, when it comes to vaccine guidance. And much like any other issue that we've ever dealt with, that this kind of fear-mongering is meant to pull your eyes away from the real story. And that real story is that they voted to cut food stamps. They voted to cut Medicaid. They voted to raise costs on working families just to please their donors. The chaos and the lies are part of that cover. So tomorrow, while Washington grinds to a halt, we'll be in Santa Fe, doing what we can to keep people fed, keep their health care within reach, and keeping communities as safe as possible. And it's not because it's going to fix everything, because it's not going to be flashy, but we just know that New Mexicans right now can't wait for Congress to do something. We are trying to get to Santa Fe to just make sure that our people don't get crushed by the weight of someone else's cruelty. That's the work that matters. That's the work that matters for me. You all know I don't enjoy going up to Santa Fe, but it's stuff like this that matters, and so I'm down. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer whatever I can with whatever information that I have. You can also follow me on Instagram. And you can find it on my bio. I'm more responsive on Instagram than I am here, because I don't come on TikTok as often. So please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. And that's it, y'all. Take care. Talk to you soon. Be safe.